Women corrupted love. It's a shame that when you hear the word love, what you think of is romance. What you think of is feelings. It seems that everyone, including those on the right, believe that love is a feeling. But believing that love is a feeling is like believing that food is a taste. Feelings obviously come with love, but they don't precede it. In case you haven't noticed by now, the theme of these videos on things that women have corrupted, the theme is women have made everything about feelings, everything they possibly can. One, because feelings are all they understand, and even that's being rather charitable to say they understand feelings, but also because feelings are far easier to manipulate. And manipulation is how women have always survived, because they can't rely on force the way that men can, or wit. And what better way to manipulate people than to make everyone believe that love and feelings are the same things? The difference between men and women when it comes to what other people mean to them and the things they care about is women start with feelings, and for men, feelings are secondary. A woman cares about you only as long as her feelings care about you. Only as long as you get her feelings on your side does she care about you. It's no accident that most married men, damn near all of them, are ruled by their wives these days. Putting the issues of the law aside, women actually wield the power in the eyes of the law. Putting that aside, the reason she stays in a world, in a society where she can leave for any reason she wants, the only reason she would stay is because her feelings compel her to stay. Many things can cause this, but most of the time, let's all just admit this, most of the time, the reason her feelings tell her to stay in a marriage, damn near any marriage, is because he will do whatever it takes to make her happy. You think the phrase happy wife, happy life is an accident? It's a threat. Whether you consciously think of it as a threat or not, everyone knows that it is. Whether you're consciously aware of what's going on or not, if you are married as a man, you know that the only way to keep her around is to keep her feelings on your side. And that's why it devolves, it degenerates into simpery. You have no other choice. That means becoming less of a man. The point of everything I've said so far is to demonstrate that women have changed what we think love is so that they can have control. It's always about power, and those who are the most obsessed with power and acquiring it are the weak. Women are weak. Women are weak, and that's why they never stop thinking about power. But here's what love really is. Love is sacrifice. The desire to sacrifice. The willingness to sacrifice. Seeing someone else as more important than yourself. That's love. Living for someone else. That's love. Women have actually convinced us, damn near all of us, that love is a feminine thing. You see a lot of red pill guys. You see a lot of red pill guys online try to teach this message that to be a man, you have to be obsessed with the gym, working out, building your muscles, improving your appearance, all this shit, which is really just the grooming stage of mouse utopia. It's really gay. But this is the product. This is the product that the red pill sells you because they don't understand what love is either. So they go in the opposite direction of the feminine approach, of the feminist approach. Like, oh, making your life about having a family, that's feminine. Don't do that. Be as unfaithful to her as possible. Be as unfaithful to your children as possible. This is what they teach. because they don't understand it any more than any woman does. The reason men have gone to war since the dawn of our species is because of the things they love. Love is masculine. Here's the plot twist that I can't even believe it is a plot twist. I can't believe I have to explain this in the first place. Love and masculinity are inseparable. They are one and the same. What is being a man if not living for others? And I don't necessarily mean everybody, but living for someone else, living for other people in general, sacrificing for them, putting them before yourself, seeing to their needs first. What could possibly be more masculine than that? What women have convinced everyone love is, I've said it's, feelings. That's a slight oversimplification. What love really is to women is attachment. They want everyone to think that love is attachment. It's one of the most ironic things about women and how much, they're afraid of incels, and, they also call everyone who doesn't agree with them an incel. The ironic thing with all of that is their definition of love is actually what creates incels. It's actually what creates so many psychos who would rather use violence to retaliate against someone who rejected them, or to retaliate against someone who broke up with them. Like the most deranged behavior when it comes to relationships stems entirely from this stupidity, this belief that love is attachment. No, attachment is how you get insanity. It's how you get crazy people. It's how people get hurt. When you base everything on feelings, guess what? You get crazy shit. Feelings are not the point. They are secondary. Just like I said, food is not a taste. It comes with taste. Same thing with love. Feelings come with love. They are not love. They are not love first. Love is sacrifice. And in case it wasn't obvious already, this is why I despise whenever I hear someone say that Christianity is a feminine religion. Ridiculous. It is the most masculine religion. The most. Because of its emphasis on love, which is, as I've already explained, selflessness, putting others first. From a purely physical, evolutionary, naturalistic perspective, that's what men are for. Men were made, regardless of what your beliefs are. I think we can all agree, whether evolution made us this way or God directly made us this way 6,000 years ago, whatever you believe, I think we all agree. The reason men exist is to be sacrificial. We are stronger so that we can protect women and children. We are stronger so that we can figure things out, so that we can solve problems. We are superior so that we can serve. That is the point of being a man. The entire point. We are the embodiment of love. We are love in physical form, as was Christ. Christ was correct when he said, there is no greater love than the willingness to lay down one's life for another. He said that the summation of all the laws of the prophets, every command God has ever given, every rule God has ever made, it all comes down to two things. You must love God with your entire essence, and you must love others at least as much as yourself. That's what it's all about. That's what it's always been about. It's not about you. You want to call something feminine? It's not love, because feminine would mean it is all about you. And this subject is why I get on my fellow monarchists' case so often about how useless they are, how they choose to be grifters, right-wingers in general. Like, this is why so many of you are completely fucking useless. I made a video on this explaining that so many right wingers, including most monarchists that I know, they're so useless because they don't have anything to live for. They have no one to serve but themselves. Mommy doesn't count. Okay? Being related to people, that's not enough. Men should have someone to serve on a daily basis. You are living for them. Most commonly, that comes in the form of having children, and it should be. You don't understand love until you've had children. Yet another reason that I'm a Christian. Jesus made everything, he put everything in the language of a family. God is the Father. It's a family. We are God's children. But this reflects the reality that you do not understand love until you've had children. This is why God is portrayed in the masculine. When Christ came to earth, when he, as Paul himself stated, this is the way he phrased it, when the Son of God made himself lower than the angels. He came to embody love. He came to prove that God is love. And love is not telling people what they want to hear, okay? That's feminine. That's feminine bullshit. Goes back to this brainwashing that we've all been subject to, thinking that love is feelings, love is attachment. No, it's not. When you're just simply attached to someone, that is what makes you inclined to lie to them, to make them feel better. It doesn't matter what you're saying, just as long as you're happy in the here and now. That's wrong. And by wrong, I don't just mean false, I mean evil. It is evil to lie to people. Evil. And if you think that's how Christ was, you're so wrong. So very wrong. He was never harsh with people. That's false. He was harsh with people all the time. He was brutally honest with people all the time. Christ was not some hippie. He wasn't even against violence. In all of his wisdom, his infinite wisdom, he demonstrated not only what love is, but he demonstrated the full scope of wisdom, which is there's a time and place for everything. There's a time to be gentle. There's a time to be fierce. There's even a time to weep. And there's a time to put aside your feelings, put aside your sorrow, and do what must be done. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he knew what was coming. He knew what was right around the corner waiting for him. He was so terrified of it that he was sweating blood. And he cried out to the Father, please, if there's any other way, but your will be done. He said he didn't come to abolish the law. He said he came to fulfill it. This is what it's all about. Sacrifice. And I've also heard it said that it's like him dying on the cross is a portrayal of weakness. I find that rather baffling because the entire reason he came was to die. And usually when I hear people give that criticism, what they're really implying is like, oh, what he should have died, or the way he should have died was like on a battlefield or something. And I'm just thinking, why does it have to be a battlefield? It's still dying for the world. It's still dying for the world in the first place. And not to mention a battlefield kind of implies something very specific. You're fighting a specific enemy at a specific time, then your argument would just become like, well, why not just use your power to defeat the enemy so you don't have to die at all? Like, it just becomes circular after a while. It's never ending. No matter like how it happened, detractors are always going to have a problem with it. But the point is, he came to die. He came to be a sacrifice. And love is sacrifice. That's not part of it. That's not most of it. It's all of it. That is what love is. Love is you matter to me more than I matter to me. And how can you even for 1 second believe that that's feminine? I've never known a woman to be sacrificial. I've never known a woman to sacrifice herself for another. How often, like, be honest with yourselves. Everyone listening, be honest with yourselves. When you hear a story of someone who leapt into a river to save a child from drowning, is it a woman? It's almost never a woman. It's always a man who risked their life to save another. Whenever you hear these kinds of stories in the news, it's always a man. Well, I shouldn't say always, but on rare occasion it might be a woman, but exceptions just prove the rule. You have to search far and wide for a specific example of a woman doing that. Whereas if you just simply search, person jumps into a river to save someone, person, pulls someone down and uses themselves as a shield against gunfire. If you just stumble upon these kinds of stories, it's a man you're reading about. You have to spend extra time to find a woman who ever does this shit. But it's feminine to sacrifice yourself. It's feminine to be a sacrifice for another. So I don't want to hear this shit. It annoys me whenever I hear this shit about Christianity being a feminine religion. No matter how Jesus did it, no matter how he would do it, someone will always complain that he didn't do it a different way. He laid down his life. Okay, that's better. In my view, that's a lot better than being defeated on a battlefield. Defeat is the embarrassment, actually. But saying, no, I lay down my life. That's the demonstration of power. He didn't do a bunch of miracles just to impress people, to create a spectacle. He did a lot of miracles, all the way up to even raising the dead. He did miracles to demonstrate that if he wanted to, he could have saved his own life. If he wanted to, he could have defeated any army. He did all these miracles, and then at the very end, he did none at all, except the greatest one of all. But in the end, physically, what he did was nothing. He proved he could, and then he chose not to. There is no greater demonstration of power, in my view. Look at all the things I can do, and now I step forward, and I choose physically to do nothing. I lay down my life. And I'm doing this at all. I'm doing this in the first place to prove what love is. And you know what? Let's even ignore theology. I mean, to me, it's one and the same, but let's ignore it just for the sake of argument. How often have you found someone who's truly happy by being a selfish fuck? Okay, even if you don't believe in all the Christian stuff, how often do you see happy people who are completely selfish? Even if you bring up someone like Andrew Tate, for example, and no, I don't think he looks very happy, but even if he does look happy to you, even he admits that there's nothing more important than having children, implying there's nothing more important than having others to live for. Even he says that. In spite of all the other stupid shit he says, he still agrees with me here. So good luck using that example. You ever seen it in a woman? A woman who always gets her way, a woman who needs to get her way, which is just part of being a woman. How often do they look happy? Or are the happiest women you ever see the ones who have lots of kids, grandkids? And when their grandkids come over, they can't wait to make them some delicious food and some sweet treats. Grandmas and cookies are often associated with each other. Because those are the happiest women I've ever seen. In fact, those are the only happy women I've ever seen. The ones who had people to live for. And maybe it's because they just grew up in a time where that was required of them. They had few other options. Maybe. But so what? They're still happy. And I've never seen a feminist who looks happy to me. And what is feminism? Feminism is the removal of restrictions and consequences from women. Feminism is just trying to increase what women can get away with. When you simplify it, that really is what it all comes down to. And how often do they look happy? From my perspective, even when I was a liberal, never. Because equality is the ultimate pretending to be selfless when actually you're entirely driven by being selfish. The most selfish people on earth are those who most staunchly believe in equality. The happiest you will ever be is not being rich. It's not getting your way. It's not maximizing your comfort. The happiest you'll ever be is living for others. It also makes the world an objectively better place. The more people are not living for themselves, the better the world is. It's not technology. It's not money. It's people who choose to live for other people. Period. Love is not attachment. It's not chocolates on Valentine's Day. Love is sacrifice, which is what men were made to do. There is nothing stronger than love. There is nothing that makes people stronger than love. You'd be amazed how powerful you become when you don't live for yourself anymore. And it shouldn't be a surprise to anyone when I say the most selfish people are also the weakest, the most fragile. True power is in putting others first, serving, sacrificing.